Hey channel, Fernando from SkyFi Audio. It's been a crazy month once again, and we just got a massive load of equipment. So even though it's not the first of the month, today's the 21st, I'm going to be away next week on vacation, so I thought I'd do the video a bit earlier to just make sure I don't lose any rhythm and to make sure I capture all the stuff that just came in. So this is new arrivals for the month of May. 2022. I'm going to jump right into it. What to expect in these videos? I'm going to spend around 15 minutes walking around our crazy shop, going over all the stuff that just came in. I'll show you what we're actively repairing. I'll show you what is about to list. We'll share with you our latest car project and all the changes around the shop. So I'm going to jump right in. First and foremost, we've got another set of Bowers & Wilkins 800s. D3s. This is the second to last iteration. We're currently, Bowers released the D4 version, which is a bit hard to get, but the D3s are almost just as good and quite a bit less in today's used market. So we have a super minty set that just arrived. These sell quickly. They usually don't last more than a week here. And we do have the shipping cartons for these, so these could get shipped pretty much anywhere around the world. Make sure you're subscribed to our mailing list at our website, skyfiaudio.com. At the bottom, you'll see a place to subscribe to our mailing list, which goes out every Friday with the new items that are up for sale. That way you won't miss things like this. So really super minty set of 800 E3s. Below it, just today, we got a set of Focal. These are Diablo Utopias. This is the top of the line bookshelf or stand mounted speaker from Focal. I think it retails for around $20-something thousand on these beautiful stands. Focal inverted beryllium tweeters, amazing composite materials on the woofers. Very, very nice set of bookshelves, and about as good as you can get in the bookshelf world. I keep calling them bookshelves, but they're a little bit big for the bookshelf, unless you've got about 20 inches in height. They're really meant to be stand mounted. Okay, moving on. Let's see, going around this way. Oh, part of the lot that just arrived, a lot of vintage equipment and some test equipment. Two sets of speakers, one being these Electro Voice Aristocrats. These are a coaxial driver. I'll show you what the driver looks like because we pulled one out for service. It's about a 28-inch tall speaker. It's ported in the back, I believe. Yeah, there's a port in the back. So single driver, coaxial. Here's a brilliance control for it to tone down the high range a bit. And the driver looks like this. We're about to send this out to get refurbished. One of them was perfect. This one has a bit of a rattle in it, so it's going out to our friends at Miller Sound. So you can see the horn structure here coaxially mounted inside of the driver, which appears to be around 12 inches or so. So very cool speaker. All right, over here it looks like we're shipping out a Magnum Dynalab FM reference tuner. Nope, not the FM reference. This is the Model 1 FM tuner. There's so many variations on it. This one has a really rare gold panel, as you can see here. It's like a champagne gold, beautiful unit. And here you can see the oscilloscope functionality and the frequency meter. Very cool. That's going to a new home right now. Over here we've got the custom TD124 waiting for pickup, Audio Mecha CD player, and an AccuFace CD player in need of some love that we just got. All right, moving down this way. This is cool. This is a Marantz 7T. This is not the venerable Marantz 7 tube. This is a solid state version of it, but it is in absolutely beautiful condition. We'll post some pictures of the inside on the listing this Friday, but look at this vintage piece and the condition on it. So if you want a Marantz 7 but don't have the $6 grand to spend on it, this is a nice alternative to it. All right, moving over this way in our test bench. This is a bench that we're designing and building right now. It's in its infancy right now. We just have speakers and a power strip for it, but it's going to have an entire test setup where we can do long-term testing. You know, we get these pieces, for example, this is a McIntosh 2205. We bench tested it, we cleaned, did a light service on it, and now it's ready to just be listened to for a while. We want to make sure these pieces don't come back to us after they ship. So this test stand will essentially allow us to run it in for an extended period of time. We'll run it 2-3 days in the background as we work to make sure there are no hiccups and make sure that nothing overheats, etc. So you'll see the evolution of this test bench over time. It's going to get quite a bit more complicated. This is in its infancy, as I said. And of course, this 2205, part of that vintage lot that came in yesterday, again, super clean. The stuff was a little dusty, but as soon as we cleaned it up, it actually, you could tell that it had been really well cared for. Look at the condition of this 2205. Great vintage piece. Solid state. 2 channels, probably around 50 watts if I'm not mistaken. All right, moving on the line. Check this thing out. This is pretty cool. This is a temperature meter, an analog temperature meter. It's reading about 81 degrees. It's probably a little bit high. Made by Simpson, model 388. Neat piece. All right, moving on to Bay 2. RS 1520 Mac Edition sold already. This is our 1500. This one's still available. Looking for a new home. I'm sure it won't last long. All right, here's a neat piece. It's a Revox tangential turntable. This is model B795. It's rare to see these that are working, but this one arrived from a purchase we did from the Midwest, and it's in really nice working condition. Linear tracking. The arm is essentially a pivoting arm, but it is in fact linear. So once you drop it over the record like this, you can use the controls to operate the record, which is great for people that have shaky hands. It's a really nice sort of mid to beginner level turntable, made in the 1970s by Revox. Neat piece. Moving over this way, this triple stack from McIntosh. This is the C504, 502, and 500. So tuner, preamp, and amplifier. These are in museum quality condition at this point. I've never seen a cleaner set from the cabinets that don't have a single scratch on them. Faceplates are immaculate, no peeling, nothing, no bubbling at all. Tested perfectly in our test bench. We've listed them individually, but I'm hoping someone will buy all 3 at the same time, because this would make an amazing sort of starter to mid-level audio system with a real nice vintage look and feel to it. And these are sure going to appreciate over time. So if you're watching and you're looking to put together like a second system or a starter system, that's a killer setup. And we've got the manuals, accessories, and everything to go with it. So really, real survivor trio there. All right, we got some Matrix 802s that are leaving, getting picked up tomorrow. Those are the ones with the North Creek crossovers. We've got a local buyer for those. Those are the crossovers that go with the 802 Matrix right there. Here's part of the vintage lot that we got. Sometimes, or oftentimes, audiophiles are also technicians or tinkerers, and this particular lot came with a bunch of test equipment from Tektronix. So we're going through all this. We're going to take some of it for our own use and offer up the rest of it. If you're looking to put together some sort of audio test bench to start tinkering, drop us a note, because we can put together a real neat spectrum analyzer or THD analyzer with some oscilloscopes, DVMs, etc. All right, moving on to speakers. The second set of speakers from this purchase was the set of Patrician 800s. Among the Patrician line, these are the most desirable from what I understand. It's a four-way speaker with a massive woofer in the back. I don't know the specifications on it, but it fills in most of this cabinet. That's the back that is meant to go into a corner of the room. And here you can see the controls for the low frequency, high frequency, and very high frequency. So this is, I think, 2 horns and 2 conventional drivers, and the ability to use the internal crossover or to provide your own externally. And here are all the specifications on how to connect in a bunch of different ways. They come with a pretty cool sort of grass cloth fabric, which I'm going to replace because one of them had a tear on it. I'm going to touch up the cabinets and work these out. These are becoming very, very desirable. We sold a single one of these for quite a bit a few months ago. Went out to the West Coast, and now we have a pair of these, which is kind of cool. So look out for some restoration work on these over the next month or two. Not sure if I mentioned in the last video, but we did score another pair of JBL 4343s. Cabinets are in really, really nice shape. I'm not even going to have to do much to them, unlike the last pair. But all the drivers, of course, needed reconditioning, which we have started to do. So be on the lookout for some 4343s in the next couple of weeks. And then the grills that we'd ordered for our JBL L100s came in. These are vintage JBL model L100 speakers. And we ordered a set of custom-made grills. We ordered an orange pair and a blue pair and let the new owner decide what they want. These will get mounted inside of the original wooden frames, and it'll be a completely restored pair by the time we do that. So if you're interested in L100s, you just gotta let us know what color you want. Moving down this way, we have rescued a pair of cello performance amplifiers. We had a total of 6 pieces, and we made essentially a really good pair out of the 6. So we picked the best cards, best output transistors, and the best chassis out of 6 pieces and made a pair of monoblocks. So if you're not familiar with the cello performance, this is essentially one amplifier and below is another monoblock amplifier. So it takes 4 boxes to make a single stereo pair, and these will get listed this Friday as well. And they come with really neat connectors. These are Fisher connectors. If you haven't seen them, they're sort of laboratory grade connectors. Unfortunately, these didn't catch on in the audio world, but they're pretty superior to any RCA or XLR connector. But we'll include a set of Fishers for the new owner of that, since they're difficult to find. The wires themselves are made by Cello back in the 1990s. I think they're called Cello strings. So cool setup here. All right, swinging back this way. Another neat thing, we hadn't had a Marantz 10B tuner in a while, and we got a minty one here. Look at the condition on this thing. Absolutely stunning. Even the metalwork, which tends to rust. We tend to see a ton of rust on the sockets for the tubes. We see rust around the face plates and screws everywhere, and this one is just exemplary. We've only had one before at this condition. We had an NOS one with a rack mount that went to somebody in Asia, but this is probably the second best Marantz 10B that we've had here, and it performed beautifully. We did absolutely nothing to it other than some light maintenance work and some cleaning. So this would be a really neat match to the Marantz 7T preamp that you saw before, and then pair that with a set of monoblocks and you've got a killer system. All right, just below it, finally found a Pioneer spec system rack. If you're a fan of our channel, you've probably seen a couple of videos we did in the Pioneer spec system we've been putting together. It's comprised of 5 pieces, actually 6 pieces at this point. We've got them all, and I was missing the rack. You really cannot have a spec system until you put it all in a rack. It's all rack mounted equipment. That's the whole purpose of it, and it looks excellent in the rack. So find one of these locally. Thanks for our guys at GG Audio or HiFi for dropping it off. And so our spec system is comprised of the RT707 reel-to-reel, which has been fully restored. And then the other 5 components are up here. So I guess it's a total of 6 components. There's the equalizer up top, the tape deck, amplifier, preamplifier, and tuner. And they've all been fully sorted and they're ready for a new home. So over the next day or so, I'm going to mount all this on the rack and get it ready to go to market. Probably not this week, but maybe by next Friday's email blast, you'll see a complete our spec series system. All right, let me circle back this way, more test equipment. All right, in the rack, I noticed, we did get an SAE equalizer, which is kind of cool. We've had these before. Here's an SAE, let's see how many bands this is. There's a ton of them. I'm not gonna count them here on video, but really nice SAE equalizer from their better ears. And the other piece that arrived, don't see it. All right, let's move back this way. On the island, part of that vintage purchase, we've got a couple of earlier Lafayette pieces. We've got a Stereo Master preamp from Lafayette, beautiful copper chassis on it. The tuner, Lafayette stereo tuner, and the Lafayette, so this is an ICO HF12. This is a cool piece. We've had this before. It's an integrated amplifier. Yep. Here's the Lafayette amplifier. So this will make a nice system. That amplifier with this tuner and that preamp is really a complete system. A DBX 119 decilinear. Don't know what that does yet, but I'm sure gonna find out. All right, swinging around this way, Nakamichi 100 tri-tristor cassette deck. This one's in really beautiful cosmetic shape. It is missing its case, so we'll have to figure out what we're gonna do with it. And it is here. It needs a light service before it goes out. We're gonna have to probably do the belts, some cleaning, alignment, etc. So this one's worth the trouble considering the physical condition. All right, swinging around. MagnaCore 1024 reel-to-reel machines. I know absolutely nothing about these, but I'm gonna find out pretty soon. It's a 2-chassis reel-to-reel. This is the drive system, and that is the amplification system where you make all your connections and controls. Actually, no, controls are on this unit. This is essentially the head amplifier for it. So we got 2 machines, gonna sort them out and see how they perform here. I don't really know much about them. Excited to hook up my new studio display from Apple, finally gone. All right, moving on. On the turntable reel-to-reel test bench, I've got an Akai 747. These I've had before. I think we've restored 3 or 4 at this point, and I love this machine. They always need some work, but once we do this sort of routine maintenance to them, they have shown to be extremely reliable. This one in particular, I'm gonna redo the motorized tensioners. They have some belts in there that need replacement. I have serviced all the controls, all the switches, pots, etc. It's working fairly well at this point. I just need to finish the, as I mentioned, the tensioners. I like this machine a lot because of the head. The heads are made out of a material that doesn't really wear as quickly as you would find in a conventional reel-to-reel. So I try to target these when I see them in the market. All right, moving around. Ben is in between fixing things. I've got a continuum power supply for a turntable. We've got a continuum caliber turntable that is going to be ready in the next month. This is the motor drive controller for it, believe it or not. This is just the speed selector and the thing that makes the platter spin. You can see the battery system here, the low voltage power supply, and this is the motor speed controller. And then the PLC programmer that allows all the functionality. So you can get a look at the size of the motor that powers this turntable. So we're working on that. Swinging back this way, I think that covers it. Oh, some updates on my toolbox. I don't know if you've known, but I've been putting together a sonic toolbox, sort of like the dream system of tools. We work on cars here on our off time. So check this out. I made some progress. Another couple of drawers came in. The 1/2-inch drawer came in. Look at this stuff. This is German-made tools. It's a brand that isn't known very well here in the United States, but it's doing super well. And this is just one drawer for the 1/2-inch, including all the bars and sockets of every variation you'd want. I think I showed you the 3/8-inch drawer, which is already complete. And the 1/4-inch drawer is a smaller affair. Here's the 1/4-inch sockets, and I'm putting together a foam system for our measuring equipment. So in here I've done all the cutouts necessary to house all the stuff I use every day for measurement. I couldn't get this exact drawer from Sonic, so and then I'm building one custom for us. And then I think this one is also full, yeah, the impact wrenches and the hammer and chisel set. Super great stuff. If you're into tools, you gotta check out Sonic. They are not a sponsor, but man, I would sure love to have them be. All right, and then update on our Ford Escort Cosworth. It is ready for car shows. I'm so excited to share this with the world. These are fairly rare. It's a Ford Escort RS Cosworth from Germany. 1992 vintage. I acquired it a few months ago, and I did some drivetrain work, some interior work, and it's ready to rock and roll. So I'll post some pictures of that when we do our first car show. And speaking of car shows, we're going to be hosting our first ever SkyFi Cars, Coffee, and Audio coming up probably May or June. If you're into cars, and a lot of our clients are into cars, watches, and stereos, so we're going to be sending an invite for anybody in the neighborhood that has a cool car that wants to kind of share on a Sunday morning with us and listen to some good tunes, have some coffee. So look out for an invite on that coming up. We'll send it on our email blast, and if you want to attend, please make sure to RSVP. And that's about it. I've gone way over 20 minutes. Lots of cool stuff to share with you. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe. It helps keep us motivated, and kind of keeps things moving along nicely. So thanks for your support. Any questions, any mistakes, which I'm sure I've made at least 24 in this video, post them below. I'd love to hear from you. Did I get the model wrong? Did I get the version wrong? Did I get it wrong all completely? I'd love to hear from you. And if you have any equipment to share with us, also please do chime in at the bottom. Thanks for watching.